This very good Friday, and also very glad to welcome back again Rudra on this Friday special. So, D-Touch Friday specials. Happy to welcome Rudra. Rudra, hi Rudra. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, Sri Lekha. Hi, it's always a great pleasure to be on DC Live, and a Friday evening makes it even more special.
Yes.
Right? Great.
So, how are you, Rudra? How was the day?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a wonderful day, a great Friday today. It's been going all good throughout the day. I hope you had a good day as well.
Yes, Rudra. I had a very good day today. So completely engaged weekend. So many tasks was the same. So done as usual. So yes, Rudra. So what's special today?
All right. So, we have been running two successful shows of Detach already on DC Live. And I'm here to present to the listeners the third show from Detach on DC Live. All right. Before that, let me just quickly greet all our listeners. Hi, people. I'm your RJ Rudra for this evening on DC Live. Stay tuned to DC Live. We care, we share, and we are on air. Right. So we've had some great response for the two shows over the last few weeks, and we thought we will add one more show to the kitty. All right. And that's what we're going to do this evening. Today, as an exception, we are doing it at 6 o'clock. But then this show is going to be on Friday at 5:30 p.m. I repeat, Friday at 5:30 p.m. In a bit from now, I will let you know what is the name of the show and what is it all about. Yes, Sri Lekha. That's why I'm here again on a Friday. Very unusual for me because I've been only on a Monday and on a Thursday, but here again, I am on a Friday for launching a brand new show from Detach on DC Live.
Good, Rudra. Happy to hear that too. Thanks.
Great. Are we good? Shall we start?
Yes, Rudra, we can start. So our screen, you can see our DC Live screen is on the radio page, so we can start.
Great, people. Hey, listeners, as I said, I'm RJ Rudra. I'm here for a brand new show this evening with a great, amazing response that you have all given Detach and to be aired on DC Live. We're going to come up with a brand new show. And what is this show going to be? And what is the name of the show is what I'm going to be talking about in a few seconds from now. Are you all excited? Wherever you are, the same format continues. We have the chat box here on the Google Meet for people who have joined on Google Meet. For people who are listening elsewhere, you can quickly go ahead and log into dclive.in, and then you have the chat box there as well. You can drop in a message, you can drop in a question, you can drop in your comments, and then we'll be more than glad to take it. I'm going to be here for the next 30 minutes for unveiling the brand new show. And what is this show going to be all about? Now, this show is going to be something beyond the normal work that we do, but an integral part of the work that we do. And that is what we're going to talk about on this show. And this show is going to be called Cornerstone Weaving Workplace. And the show is going to be called Cornerstone Weaving Workplace. Why Cornerstone? Cornerstone is because when you build something, cornerstone is something that bridges two sides of a wall or two sides of something. That's why it is called a cornerstone. And weaving workplace, because you got to knit your workplace, right? So no more are you going to be a regular manager. It's not normal to be a great manager anymore. It's got to be a great leader. It's got to be a great personality that people are looking for with this generation of leaders. It's normal to be a manager. It's normal to be a people manager. It's very normal to be executing something. That's not what it is all about in today's world. It is about how well do you get well with people? How well do you lead people with being one among themselves? And how well do you ensure there's trust, there's relationship, there is camaraderie, and there is also belief and there is also that oneness among a team. That is very, very important. And that's what we're going to talk about. Cornerstone Weaving Workplace, which is going to be broadcast every Friday at 5:30 p.m. on DC Live. Stay tuned to DC Live. We care, we share, and we are on air. And what is this podcast all about? This is a podcast that explores the often overlooked people skills that are essential for building a successful career and a positive workplace. Instead of focusing solely on technical abilities, the show delves into how to connect better with colleagues, communicate effectively, lead with empathy, and navigate the human dynamics of the professional world. I repeat, the human dynamics of the professional world, because artificial intelligence, reporting, the bots and everything are taking over the regular work. And then what do humans do here? And that's exactly what it is going to gel all the human abilities together. And that's what is called about human dynamics. It offers practical insights and strategies to help listeners to build a solid foundation for their careers, which is the cornerstone, and create stronger, more collaborative relationship at work, which is called the weaving workplace. Let's quickly go ahead and get into the show. Welcome to the first episode of Cornerstone Weaving Workplace, the podcast where we explore the essential human skills that build strong careers and connected workplaces. I'm your host, RJ Rudhra. Today, we are diving into a powerful and often discussed, it's sometimes misunderstood, right? It's sometimes misunderstood aspect of leadership. Today, we're going to talk about leading with empathy. Leading with empathy. That's what we're going to talk about on this show, because this forms the foundation of any relationship, and this forms any basis for a good team, good navigation, and also good strong work relationship. Have you ever heard this term empathy, Srilekha?
Yes, Rudra.
What comes to your mind when at the moment you hear empathy?
No, to be very frank, no. Maybe I should say my first interview during my opening. So there was a question: what is, according to you, empathy and sympathy?
Okay.
So that's what I think. It's like feeling of sharing another person's. That's what empathy. I feel it like.
Correct. You're right. You're right on that.
Yourself on someone's else shoes and handle how they are feeling it, being in their position and analyzing the thing, something like that.
Exactly. That is right. Okay. Now, have you all gone through? I'm sure all of us have gone through this, as Srilekha just mentioned, when she was in a first interaction about her work, and then someone asked her empathy, and sympathy. Let's quickly differentiate that as well. But then, even before we get there, so why is it important? All right, and you should know about it. Why do you need to know about it? Is it because it's supposed to be written somewhere, posted somewhere? Is it something that is supposed to be hung on a wall? Is it supposed to be put as a display on a notice board or on a standee? No, that's not what it is about. Have you heard about the code of conduct? All of us would have gone through when we onboarded, right? And why do we need that? We need that because you have a responsibility towards the company and its stakeholders and its people. And the basic need of a code of conduct is to treat everybody with mutual respect. Is that right?
Yes.
That's a basic thing. Now, you need to, the organization expects all employees, including agents, contractors, managers, everybody, to exercise good judgment to ensure the safety and welfare of its team members, colleagues, co-workers, and maintain a cooperative, efficient, positive, harmonious and productive work environment and business organization. If you have a doubt, I have picked this straight from the first point on the code of ethics. Your responsibilities to the company and its stakeholders. That's what I'm talking about. And this is right out of that code of conduct, which is on HRMS for us. Right, Srilekha? Isn't that surprising that we have this?
Yes.
Right. So this statement that I read, which the company expects all employees, agents and contractors to exercise good judgment to ensure the safety and welfare of employees, agents and contractors, and to maintain a cooperative, efficient, positive, harmonious and productive work environment and business organization. This is what it means. Now, for you to do this, you need humility, mutual respect and empathy. And all of you might say, what does intelligence and empathy go together? Yes, it goes hand in hand. It goes together, provided you place humility higher. Humility in Tamil is, you can call it panivu, all right? Tarmai, that is what can be humility. In Kannada, humility means namrate. In other words, it could also be handling situations with a lot of thalme, right? So that's a close word. It's patience, but then humility, the right word is namrate in Kannada. Now, for you to make this environment very conducive for work, you need humility, you need mutual respect. So that's what we're going to talk about on this show. Do you feel how relevant this is? Listeners? Srilekha?
Yes, Rudra, definitely it is relevant.
Yeah.
To have a positive atmosphere and to have a good relationship and healthy relationship work where we are. For this, I think we need it.
Definitely. Now, we're going to talk about it. We often hear about the importance of empathy, but what does it really mean to lead with it? Especially in a professional context is what we're going to know today. Let's define empathy first. As Srilekha just said, it's about putting yourself in someone else's shoe, right? That's a cliche. That's kind of a very, very generic way of talking about it. But it is not wrong is the point. It is right. And it is seeing the world from someone else's perspective and also connecting with their emotions. Srilekha just mentioned about connecting with their emotions, acknowledging their emotions. That's what she said. And so as I said, empathy, simply put it, is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. How do you understand their feelings and their abilities, what it is all about? Now, let's quickly go ahead and, understand that it's more than just sympathy. What is sympathy? Sympathy is feeling for someone. Empathy is feeling with them. Right? So sympathy is feeling for someone, and empathy is feeling with them. Quickly, just go ahead and relate to this, right? So what I said right now is sympathy is feeling for them, which is and empathy is feeling with them. You just feel bad for them, right? And that is what is anudapa, right? So that is what is anudapam in Tamil as well, right? And that is what it talks about in sympathy. You feel bad for someone, right? So that is what is sympathy in the Sahanabhuti is what, in Kannada, the word closely means. But then, so it is about, empathy is about feeling with them. Now, let's quickly look at, have you ever heard about empathy is one word, but then there are 3 types to it, or 3 levels to it, or 3 dimensions about it? Have you ever thought about it, Srilekha? That empathy will have 3 dimensions, 3 types, in fact. All right. I guess you're just coming back on call as well. So that's okay. Let me just get over to the next side of it. We have 3 types, which is cognitive empathy, emotional empathy, compassionate empathy. All right. What is cognitive empathy? Cognitive empathy is the ability to understand another person's thoughts or beliefs. Emotional empathy is the ability to feel another person's feels emotionally. All right. Emotional empathy is the ability to feel what another person feels emotionally. Compassionate empathy is doing something about another person's distress. That's what is compassionate empathy. So there are three types of it. Now, it's more than just being nice or agreeing with everyone. At its core, leading with empathy is about understanding and sharing the feelings of others. It's about putting yourself in their perspective, not necessarily to feel the exact same way, but to gain a deeper perspective on their experiences. That's what it is. Now let's look at, in the workplace, how crucial is empathy. Empathy is crucial for building strong relationships, fostering trust, and creating a positive and productive environment. When leaders demonstrate empathy, they create a sense of psychological safety. I repeat this word, it's called psychological safety, where team members feel comfortable sharing their ideas, concerns, and even vulnerabilities. This leads to a better communication, collaboration, and ultimately better results. Think about a time you felt truly understood by a leader. How did that make you feel? Chances are it most likely fostered trust, brought in loyalty, and had a greater sense of willingness to contribute when someone exhibited empathy to you, or they just listened to you and were willing to understand and gave you a sense of understanding. That's the power of empathy in leadership. It builds bridges, something we talk about a lot here on Weaving Workplace. So how can we practically apply empathy in our leadership? Here are a few starting points. Just a point to start. All of us need that point to start. The first one is active listening. This goes beyond just hearing the words someone is saying. It involves truly focusing, asking clarifying questions, and paying attention to non-verbal cues. Non-verbal cues are something that is not spoken about. When you look at them, you get that. When you see them, you sense that there. That is what is non-verbal cues. For example, instead of jumping in with a solution, try saying, tell me more about what you're experiencing right now. Tell me more about what are you going through. That's what is active listening. Perspective taking. Consciously try to see things from the other person's point of view. What might be driving their behavior or their concerns? This doesn't mean you have to agree. Let me repeat. This doesn't mean you have to agree. But understanding their perspective can lead to a more constructive conversation and solutions. Ask yourself, what might be going on for them that I am not aware of? That is what is perspective taking. Acknowledging feelings. Don't be dismissive and say that when someone says something, don't be dismissive and say, hey, you know what are you talking about? Don't say that. When someone expresses an emotion, acknowledge it. You don't have to fix it. But simply recognizing their feeling can be incredibly validating. Phrases like,
this is something like you're saying, avoid judging and acknowledge the emotions. Like,
definitely. Don't be judgmental at all about it. And that's one of the worst things someone can do, right? So, you know what? Don't tell them this isn't a problem at all. Don't even tell that. Why shouldn't it be a problem, right? It could be a problem for someone when they start something, when they start something new, their perspective from their view, it definitely is a concern. So listen to it and acknowledge it. Okay, it's a problem. Let's fix it. Okay. You can always say that, hey, you know what, I can see you're feeling a little off, you're feeling a little frustrated, that sounds really challenging. And these statements can really make them feel that you're listening to them and you're acknowledging their feelings. 3 starting points. Active listening. All right. So you make them curious by telling, hey, you know what, I want to listen more. Right. It may take some time, but then it's okay to listen. Perspective taking. Ask them, from their point of view, what do they feel about it, right? And then make these conversations constructive. Acknowledging their feelings. Try to ensure that whenever they say something, you know what? Yes, this makes some sense out of it right now, right? So lead with that conversation. These are the 3 things. Now, quickly, I'm going to pause here and see if there is anybody who's got a question, who's got a comment, or Shileka has something to say. Anything at all? I know, Srileka, you're all over the place, fixing problems here. I empathize.
Thanks. No comments, Rudra. But the thing is, no. I mean, empathy has also played a vital role for whatever the profession or personal things. So, as you said, we need to listen actively and avoid judging. And we should ask questions on how do they feel like.
Exactly.
So I think these things, if these things we keep it as a practice or having these emotions with us, I think we can do good jobs.
Definitely. That's what it is. Right. Now, thanks for that, Srileka. Right. So let's get on to it and see what do we have further. Leading with empathy isn't about being a pushover, right? It's not that someone is pushing something over you. You can still make tough decisions and hold people accountable while being empathetic. That's what I said. Place empathy before intelligence and it works. Do not push, anything away because you feel that you cannot make tough decisions. No, you can still make tough decisions and hold people accountable while being empathetic. In fact, empathy can make these difficult conversations more effective because they come from a place of understanding and respect. All right. So that's what you're going to reflect. Let's consider a quick scenario. Consider a scenario where an employee is consistently missing deadlines, right? Missing deadlines in today's dynamic business, highly demanding world. This is something that really is highly unacceptable, right? A non-empathetic approach might be purely recursive, punitive, and then, consequence management. You say that, hey, you know what, you missed deadlines, I'm going to do this. That's what you're going to say with a non-empathetic approach. Now let's take an empathetic leader here or an empathetic approach. You might first want to try to understand why is a deadline being missed? Are there personal challenges? Are they overwhelmed with tasks and work? By understanding the root cause, the leader can then work with an employee on a solution that addresses the issue while also showing care and support. All right. So the focus is still to find a solution, but the path you take is what matters here. The objective still remains the same, that you're going to work together, number one. You're going to be partnering with them, number two. You're going to ensure there is a solution. But what is the approach you're going to be taking is what makes that difference. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not asking you to, just open a meeting, have them speak for hours together and let them keep going. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Listen to them. And your objective still remains that an employee or a team member should not miss deadlines, but how do you handle it is what we're talking about here. Great. Now, leading with empathy also fosters a more inclusive and psychologically safe environment. What do I mean by psychologically safe? Psychological safety is ensuring that everybody in a group, in a team, in an organization have the freedom, have the privilege to go ahead and express their views. By doing that, people feel understood and valued. They're more likely to bring their whole selves to work, share their ideas, and take risks when you do this. This ultimately benefits the entire team and the organization. So here's a task for you. We're going to be in a fresh week starting Monday. As you go about your week, I encourage you to think about how can you bring a little more empathy into your interactions, whether you hold a formal leadership title or not. It starts with a genuine curiosity and a willingness to understand the human experience of those around you. That's what it means. What are your experiences with empathetic leadership? We would love to hear your thoughts in the next session. Then we can definitely connect, on the chat box if you have a question, if you have something to talk about, if you really want to chat with me, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and answer all of them. Now, that's what I'm talking about. I strongly encourage you to think about how can you bring a little more empathy, little more a human side to it into your interactions. We deal with people. At the end of the day, it is be documentation. It's a it's a file for you. It's a verification file for you, but it's someone's loan application or it's someone's life-saving moment with a life insurance. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're dealing about. Even those have emotions. Be empathetic when you do that, right? Let it be, we do annotations, right? Even annotations are with emotions, right? It's about a vehicle. This vehicle is going to be moving around, maneuvering around where people are around at the end of the day. We're doing managed AI ops, right? So it's about people onboarding and people running into issues, and that's what we're monitoring and ensuring that we're giving them giving them that human element there. That there's a human user at the end of the day, right? With whatever we do. Take about Zomato, Presto, whichever project you are on, whichever business unit you are on, there is a human at the end of the day who's using it. They are connected with business. And that's the reason why I'm talking about Cornerstone Weaving Workplace. Any final moments for a last question before we close for the day? Srilekha, any comments, questions, anything that's come our way?
No, Rudra. No question.
Great. Wonderful. I encourage people to ask questions, put in comments and listen in from wherever you are. But then you're going to, and I want people to really promote, I want to promote people participating actively and asking me questions and making this I know it's a radio, but then we still can take questions and answer. That's all I had for this evening. I'm going to leave you with this thought of what are you going to be improving with empathy in your interactions starting next week, a fresh month. And then it's going to be something you do every day. Now, tell me that on the chat box or the next show. Thank you for joining us on Cornerstone Weaving Workplace. Join us next time as we explore another skill for building a thriving professional life. That's what we're going to do here on Cornerstone Weaving Workplace every Friday at 5:30. Today we started at 6 because of our previous engagement, but then we're going to do this at 5:30 on a Friday. Every Friday, that's what we're going to be doing. We will be having many more such topics that help you build a cornerstone and successfully weave the workplace on the show. Cornerstone Weaving Workplace. We will have this aired every Friday at 5:30 p.m. Do not miss tuning in. Until I meet you again, this is RJ Rudra signing off from Cornerstone Weaving Workplace on DC Live. Stay tuned to DC Live. We care, we share, and we are on air. Thank you. Thanks for having me here, Srilekha. It's been a great pleasure as always being on DC Live. Thank you.